T.
Miss T. Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Can't wait for you to meet Miss T. She is the T in T.
Hello, it's T, and I'm gonna share a little something with you that I've been working on myself, and it's something that keeps coming up, not just inside of me, but also around me. I've done a great deal with, by way of career and growing in the things of business, my company, and sometimes I can not forget, but just not be completely aware of my growth, my trajectory, and in not being completely aware, it can cause me to miss out on bigger opportunities. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about staying current with yourself. So first things first, remember, you're paying a price to become. So if you're getting up every day, if you're following after your goals, following after your dreams, if you're writing things down, documenting, building a plan to make yourself, your lifestyle, your family's lifestyle better, you're paying a price to become. You're paying a price to go from this level to your ultimate level, whatever that is for you. So when you're not current with yourself, one of the things that can happen is you can forget, especially when you show up in life, that you're not the person you were yesterday. And when you forget that you're not the person that you were yesterday, you can miss out on money in your career. You don't negotiate the same when you're going after contracts. And again, I'm just sharing a little bit with you about what I've recognized in this last stretch. 2024 for me has been a banner year. I bought buildings. I developed, my flagship location for my nonprofit organization. I've established for-profit organizations. I've restructured some things. I'm hiring and providing for more families as an employer than I ever have in the history of my company. I am navigating different circles, different realms with different people that have the capacity to do some pretty remarkable things. Just don't drop my paper. Just like me. And it's been a challenge. I'm even working with team members that, sometimes when you're just getting started, you have to work with people that you have to train to do some of the stuff that you need them to do, especially when you're doing things that really haven't been done before. But right now I have a team of champions where they don't need me to hold their hands. They don't need me to do a great number of things that I used to have to do before. A bunch of heavy hitters. So in being current with myself, the first thing that I recognized that I had to do is number one, take a step back. Now, if you're a go-getter, if you're a hard worker, if you're just a diligent human that grinds, like I'm a grinder, one of the hardest things for me to do is pause. But when you pause in the thick of the battle, when you pause in the middle of the war, when you pause during your time of intense activity, or when you're wrapping up a tumultuous year like this one, you pause and take a step back. You have a different perspective because your view is different. You're not in the fray of things, but you're watching the things. And so I had to take a step back, not because I didn't want to do the work, but because I needed to assess, like, oh my gosh, what have we done? Like, what's the volume, the depth of what we've done? So recently I took a step back and did that. And just little things around me, you have people, mentors that are saying things to you, or like you'll hear a reoccurring word over and over again, in your peripheral. And when you're in the thick of it, you don't always have the time to entertain those sorts of things. But when you pause for a second, you can be curious in a way that causes you to see yourself, see your growth, see your weak spots, and then you can take the time to kind of build in a way that causes you to be successful in who you are, which is more powerful. So recently I took a step back and I did that, and I discovered some things about myself. Number one, and I could attribute this to my upbringing, but trust is always a thing. I could also attribute this to, I've built something organizationally from the absolute ground up, baby seed. So one of the challenging things for me is trusting people with my baby that's, a grown baby now. And so in identifying that I have that slight challenge, what it caused me to do strategically, and again, this is all about staying current with yourself, staying current with your team, staying current with your business. You got to stay current, otherwise you'll miss opportunities, windows of opportunity. But what me discovering that part about, like, I'm at another level, I'm at a new level where I got to trust at a new level, trust my staff, and then trust myself, trust my decisions. And so identifying that, I had to start writing some things down. I had to start releasing some things by way of control in certain facets of the organization to my team members. Most often, small businesses stay small. Mom and pop shops never graduate to corporations because there's a trust issue with how someone else can come in and help the baby grow. And so I recognized that I was doing some level of capping of the growth of the organization by not trusting and allowing the people that have been with me and served with me through some very tumultuous times to take on leadership roles where they can make decisions that don't require my endorsement. And so again, identifying that has caused me to shapeshift in a way that allows them to do that, and then me responding when they make decisions like, that maybe I wouldn't have done it that way, or maybe I don't even like the way they did it, but they still got to goal. They just didn't take the route that I would have taken. I've gotten to the place now, and I'm not saying I have it perfected, but I am saying I've gotten to a place now where I say, I back you up. I trust you. I endorse you. You go with that. So again, that's one thing is I discovered, the trust thing. The other thing with being current is, again, I built my company over the past 25 years, and I'm so used to doing all the things. But is it effective for me to do all the things in the time, the season that the company is in right now? No, I shouldn't be doing all the things, but I should be doing the things that only I can do. So again, taking a step back, pausing and looking at the landscape of things, I made up a list. Okay, so what are the things that only T can do? And it really does help you see you. Number one, I'm a bad negotiator. Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. I know how to negotiate. New business, quality business. I'm a top salesman right now. So when it comes to my product, when it comes to the services of the organization, I can close a deal. Also, as far as like strategic planning and program development, I'm still the strongest creative engineer, but again, that's my gift, is coming up with programmings as it pertains to specific communities, specific cities, specific demographics of people. So again, making the list of the things that only T can do, things that, that not, may not only be my T-isms, like, I don't need to make all the phone calls. I don't need to have all the meetings. I don't need to do the garbage. Now I will pick up some garbage. I'll clean the bathroom. I'll do anything. I really will. But there are certain things that, my team can handle, and then letting them do that. So now strategically going forward, I'm looking at the list of things that only T can do because I'm trying to stay current with myself. But what it causes me to do is I have to give myself permission to become the one that only does this set of things. And what it does is it opens the door for other things. So for example, I did a bit of tour, and then I have to caveat this with, I really don't know, I'm really not doing what I'm doing for the fame of it. And I know some people get into entertainment for that reason. I didn't. I keep getting pushed into it, but it's just because I have a gift to work with young talent. And so my organic instinct is to just be with the people. I just really enjoy being with people, especially, because I work with kids. So I'll throw on some sweats, some tennis shoes, and I'll show up because I'm preparing to, go work with the babies. When I got to suit up for things, I'm still becoming that person, but really my goal is to just be with the babies. I want to be with the kids. And so I show up for a thing, I had to get on a plane very early in the morning to go to this particular meeting. And I show up for it, and I walk into a situation where I mean, you got people clapping, they're cheering, they're making up songs to welcome me. There's gifts. They're showing me all the best that they have to offer and asking how I can bring value to it so that the kids go to the next level. And I found myself in the moment trying to shrink back. I'm like, holy cats, who do these people think I am? And so in asking myself that question and then watching the response of the people, watching the excitement that they had for me being present with them, I realized that I graduated in a way. These are people that see and appreciate the expert of my craftsmanship when it comes to working with young people and pulling their champion out of them. Now, again, it made me very uncomfortable, but it also made me, again, take a step back and assess, okay, T, you have all these accolades. If someone Googles your name, they're going to see a bunch of stuff. So even though you see you this way, the world doesn't see you that way. They see you a different way. So I realized in that moment, okay, I could have thrown a wet blanket on what was a moment for them because I wasn't realizing who I was to them. And so when you're showing up in people's lives, when you're showing up as a leader, when you're showing up as an educator, an influencer, and you're not clear about who you're showing up as to the masses, then what it could do is it could affect the people who look up to you, that are looking to you for leadership in a bad way. And so I had to keep forcing myself not to go in my little turtle shell because I was so uncomfortable with that level of visibility. And I had to force myself to see that, okay, to them, this is who I am. And again, to me, when I look in the mirror, I'm a different girl. I see her every day. But to them, this is who I am. So allowing myself to step into that place opened the door for me to give wisdom, guidance, advice, and strategy to the organization that's now going to cause them to elevate in a level in how they serve young people and how they're launching young people into the world. So, some of the things that I practice in developing my ability to remain, current with who I've become, is, I'm going to say it. I always say it. You got to write some stuff down. Who are you? That's number one. Number two, who do you want to be? Because I think sometimes we write down or we decide I want to be this, but then we become that, or we're close to becoming that, and we don't realize that we've become that. So taking the time to document, this is what I've learned. This is what I've studied for. This is what I went to school for. This is what I got mentors for. Boom, 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 boom. And then assess it. And if you're like me, it may take you having a mentor, an accountability partner, a coach, or someone to help you identify, no, you're really good at this, because you may not see it because you're being it, you're living it every day. So again, making a list is step one. I always document things, write it down. Number two is being self-aware. Someone says to me, you're very self-aware. I hear that a lot, but I'm curious. I'm a very curious, creative person. And so I'll always assess T in a way that hopefully it's causing me to be stronger in how I help people. But being self-aware, sometimes I think people are not aware enough of themselves in their tone, in how they engage with people, in how they're their motives, in how they're going about achieving more. But if you heighten your self-awareness, and not from an arrogant standpoint, but from the point of improving yourself and how you're showing up in other people's lives, I think that makes all the difference in the world in how you're staying current with yourself. And so that's something that I practice. Why did I do that? Or how I did that had this effect on this person. Is that what I want? Or because I didn't do that, it affected this situation like this. Is that what I want? So it's a constant assessment of T and how she's growing, especially as it pertains to my leadership or influence, or how I'm impacting and evolving others. And then, having a system of accountability, being humble in a way that allows you to accept that, man, you really didn't do well in that moment. and let that moment have enough of an impact on you, especially if it's something that didn't serve people well. Have enough of an impact. Be sensitive so it has enough of an impact on you that you don't repeat it again. And I document. I'm just a huge documenter, and I'm very anthropological. So I study things, I study situations, and I study people. And this will serve you well depending on the levels that you're looking to, rise to in life. So, my encouragement today is stay current with yourself. And I give this analogy to people that I coach and train. It's like Superman. Until you know you can fly, you don't practice flying, you don't get the full benefit of being able to fly. Until you know you can walk through walls, you're still opening doors. Like, once you realize I can walk through a wall, you'll never open another door in your life. In fact, you may figure out how to help other people walk through walls. So my point is, until you know the fullness of your capacity and your capability, you can't maximize the use of it and extend the value of it to other people. So it's vitally important for you to stay current because of how important you are to the lives that you touch. So document, stay determined, and be current with your superpowers, because the world needs that thing that only you have. I hope this helps you today. Stay current, and I'll see you next time.